Hello there. This is Mama Mary, the Soul Diva, connecting with you from across the Golden Veil. Thank you for tuning in to Wayne and I through cryptic frequencies as we raise the vibration of the universe one pulse at a time.
A long time ago, I realized you can't have it all, but wouldn't it be nice to have a crystal ball to tell you exactly how your life would be, something tangible that you could see? You'd know the direction you would take before it even begun. Imagine if this could happen, what it would mean to everyone. We'd see exactly where we're going and what it was leading to. Then I'm sure you'd not take some roads with different options offered to you. Just think about it. Looking into a crystal ball, it can change your whole destiny in just minutes. Are you willing to make that call? Looking into a crystal ball. Welcome to Cryptic Frequencies, a blog talk radio show dedicated to defining the obscure and exploring the mysterious. I'm your ghost hunting host, Wayne Preston Curtis Thomas. Please keep an open mind about things you might not easily believe as we welcome Intuitive April, the psychic housewife of New Jersey, to our show. Before we meet April, please welcome my co-host and our producer. She has been a light to my path, my friend, Mama Mary Bassett.
Hello, this is Mama Mary. How are all of you? Spirituality is very important. Our next very gifted guest has been sent by the angels to help us along our path to discover spiritual adventures, answers, and truths, pointing us in the right direction to help us connect to the higher power in order to heal and grow. It pleases me to welcome Psychic Medium April. April, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you? I'm so glad to be here.
Good, thank you.
I got to tell you, that was very beautiful what you said there, Wayne, both of you. Beautiful
Well, thanks.
poem.
I'm guessing you have a built-in crystal ball. Born with it.
I wish I could get the lottery numbers, though. No. You know how many times I
No
hear
doubt.
that? Right, Mary?
I know, it never works.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for us.
I want to run down the list a little bit. You're a wife, a mother, natural born clairvoyant, a psychic medium, a shaman, and you're a ghost hunter. You talk to ghosts, you see, hear, and communicate with spirits. Is that list complete?
That's complete. And I'm a dog mom, too.
Okay, that counts. That counts.
I can't leave my little boy Frankie out.
Right. So you're pretty normal, except for the fact that you can see through the veil and hear through the veil. So you're not only are you clairvoyant, you're clairaudient.
Yes. Not all the time, but yes. You know, when they can't, you know what I'm talking about, Mary. Like sometimes when they'll try and get to you any way possible. Either they're putting images in my head, or I'll hear talking. It's like sometimes it's like, well, most of the time it's like doing a puzzle, piecing together the information that we get. It's like having bad reception and getting every other word.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We have other friends, too, that do this similar work. Exie Susan Smith, and I've communicated with her about it. And like you say, she gets these messages. She doesn't necessarily know how they connect to the client, but she repeats them anyway, hoping that they know how it connects to them.
Exactly. And sometimes it's crazy. Like, the other, I do live readings on Paranormal Warehouse, and I was like, the other night, the guy kept showing me a monkey, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm thinking in my head, does this lady have a monkey?
A monkey.
And I know. So I said to the lady, I said, I know this sounds crazy. I said, but what does the monkey mean? I said, a monkey, and she starts laughing. She said when, in the hospital, she had given him a monkey stuffed animal. So, I said, oh, all right. I'm like, is this a live monkey? What is this? And then sometimes, and it's hard sometimes getting names too. So they'll try and show me somebody that I know, but I sometimes I'm like, why are you showing me this person? Like, I used to work for the police, so I was doing a reading, and they're showing me one of the officers that I used to work with, but he was in civilian clothing. And I'm saying, why would they show me him in civilian clothing? I've never seen him out of uniform. So I'm trying to decipher this, like, what they want me to talk about the police. And then I heard, in my ear, say his name. And I'm like, oh. So as soon as I said his name, the lady said, oh, my God. That's who I was talking about. That's who I brought through. It was the guy's name. So it's crazy. It's crazy how they try to get you to say things and the information they give you. They try and use our, data in our brain, that our memories, to help us decipher messages to the living.
Something
and
that's
sometimes
relatable.
They'll give you, to me, yeah, that I can understand and that I'll say. Because if I'm not hearing it clearly, or if it's not popping in my head clearly, sometimes you see it as a little movie, clip, a little quick, 10-second movie clip. And you know what? Sometimes I just know things. I call it downloads. There are times that I kind of like trance out as I'm talking when it gets really deep, and they drop information in it, and I just start talking. And I'll start talking fast because the information is coming in quick. But it's like they're downloading this information to me, and it's coming out my mouth. So, and I never remember what I say.
Oh. You brought up police, and that's on my list. I was wondering if you had ever worked with the police, maybe try to find a missing person or something like that. Is that what you meant? You worked with the police?
No. I actually worked. It was my job. I worked for the chief of police. But at the time, was not doing it, and I didn't discuss it. I didn't think about it. I never told them. Because I was really, when I came out, I was saying to my husband, I'm coming out of the broom closet. I never wanted people to know what I did. I didn't want to look like that weird mom, because I'm normal looking. I'm a normal mom, normal Jersey mom, blonde hair, the nails, makeup, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't want to make fun of my daughter. No, I mean, I'm sure you went on my website and everything, so I don't know if you saw my show or anything.
I think you have the best smile in the business.
Thank you. Somebody just said,
yes, you do.
Piece of face. Yeah. Thank you.
You have a great smile.
No, I was going to say, again, I just did an investigation a few weeks ago in Virginia with Mustafa from Ghost Hunters. And it's funny. So when I got there, like how I told you, when I do the download, Ray Savino from Premier Promotions is walking me through, and all of a sudden that's when I go into mode, and I started talking so fast. He's like, oh, my God. He goes, is this how you do this? Yes. He goes, it's like if you drank 50 cups of coffee.
Oh. Well, I know.
Fast. I'm getting the information. It's coming out quick.
Right. Through ghost hunting, a lot of times they're even talking at a different frequency. And what I'd have to do is download it on the computer, slow it down to actually understand what a ghost was saying.
Absolutely.
So I guess you're receiving. That's interesting that you say that.
Psychics and mediums, we vibrate when we're doing readings, we vibrate at the frequency of spirit. And that's how we get our information. I'm trying to think. I think it's 513 megahertz or something, like gigahertz or something. That's the vibration of spirit. But you can go higher. but that's the frequency
Okay.
we have to go at to make contact with spirit, to understand them. And, and then you have different lower energies, and of course, doing ghost investigations, that's what I do. That's my passion. I love that. You get lower vibrations. So it's crazy. And that's a different feeling from people that have crossed over than earthbound. Totally different feeling. Like I either feel pressure, I feel like I can't breathe, or if too many spirits start coming in, I really feel like I'm choking.
Well, that's another thing that was on my list because you ghost hunt. So when you ghost hunt, you're dealing with a ghost. I'm guessing a ghost is a different vibration than when you see through the veil for someone who's actually on the other side. They're operating at a higher frequency than
very high frequency. The frequency
and like an angel
love,
would,
when you're in love.
Okay. An angel would be higher yet?
Yes.
Okay.
But you're still in that
Our friend
same
Exie.
realm.
Yeah, Exie's kind of explained that to us before. We had Exie on a couple times. That's interesting to me, the different vibrations. And we know everything vibrates. Crystals, do you use crystals at all?
You know what? Not really. I have them. The only thing I really my husband and my daughter love crystals, but I do. I love selenite. I could feel that it just cleanses everything.
Right.
That I could deal with. But I really don't deal with crystals. I do my readings, just by feeling the energy around people. Just I look at them and pick up the energy that way. Vibrating with their energy, and do tarot cards. But I don't really use them. I never knew how to read tarot cards, but I like to touch them and flip them over. It just, it is when we work with our right side of our brain. So having something, playing with them, like even flipping the cards, not even looking at them, keeping my right side occupied so the left side doesn't, come in the logical side of your brain. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have a hard time reading for friends, family members. I don't like doing it because our logical brain kicks in. It's very difficult because we don't want to see anything bad or unpleasant for our friends or family. So, look, I can't read my husband. I can't read my daughter. I wish I could. She's 16. I wish I could read her mind.
Right. You might not want to.
Yeah, I might not want to, yeah.
But you are a natural.
Goes right out the window.
Yeah. You are natural born clairvoyant as opposed to maybe someone who in an accident where they were close to death and then they became sensitive. You were born with it, correct?
Yeah. Yes. It started at 4. My real father passed away when I was 2. My mom remarried, and we moved in my stepfather into his house, and then my father that passed away decided to come visit me. So I start screaming. I'm only a little kid, 4. Daddy's here, and that's when all hell broke loose. And then, from him coming in, you know what? When there's one spirit, it attracts other spirits, good and bad. So it just attracted other spirits around. So I got really bad spirits coming in, and they were really taunting me. Plus, you know what, too? When you vibrate higher, you can be seen in the spirit world. You're very like a bright light. So they're attracted to that. It's like, we're walking GPS, walk to that light, and they all come in because they know that person is, vibrating at a different frequency. They can make contact with them. So you're going to get the bad spirits too.
You are saying that they see us as a light. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, absolutely. And the higher we vibrate, the lighter we are.
Different colored? Do they see us as having different colored auras?
I'm not sure. I think we're just very bright. That pure white light. The auric field around us. They're going to see that. That's white. You see that first.
I can tell you how my grandfather described it because my grandfather saw several ghosts, The first time he saw a ghost, his neighbor had died, and they noted where this light, it was like the light of a lantern, is the way he described it. And
exactly.
they came back where this light had stopped. They dug up jars of money. So I believe that's exactly what we look like as a spirit. It's like the light of a lantern.
Absolutely. And guess what? They look like that to us too. Most times. That's the way, listen, I don't really, I'm an investigator. I'm not a fan of orbs, but of certain orbs, because, the ones that complete circle, that change direction, that, you see how it lights up too. Some of them light up. They give off their own light. That's
right.
Spirit.
Orbs are very controversial, and especially ones that are with a digital camera. I mean, if you see it with your eye, that's one thing. But if you have it on a video or a picture, that's something else.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, when I do my live readings. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go. Go.
Oh, when I do my live readings, so many times my fans or followers are writing to me saying, "There's orbs flying around your head." I'm like, "Get out of here! It's probably dusty in here," Like, but I happen to just be looking at an interview I did a couple weeks ago, and I saw an orb fly past, but it changed direction. I'm like, "Holy crap! That's what they must be seeing."
Yeah, changing direction, and they have their own flight path. Yeah, or their own light source.
Exactly. Dust goes really fast too. Bugs don't have that shape. They have a jagged type shape around them. There's ways of telling what's an orb, what's dust. Doing this for years, we know.
Yeah, or moisture in the air. It has its own shape as an orb also.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you mentioned
too, they're hard to work with too, taking pictures.
Okay. And then you mentioned like bad spirits, and we haven't really covered that a whole lot on this show. And you are a shaman. Now, shamans do things a little bit differently. Normally they go into a trance. Is that what you do as a shaman? You actually go into some sort of a trance?
Yeah, what we call journeying. So we deal with the darker parts of spirit world, not in a bad way. That's a black magic, because I am not into that or anything. I did this. It's actually, we do this to help others. It's all about healing. We do for the whole, like what I do. I knew since a kid that what I do, I am here to help people, and that's my life's journey. Even though I do my
your
reading,
mission?
but that's my mission, to help people. Like I had told you off the air, go to people's homes when they need help, especially when it has to do with children. That's where my shaman work comes in too. Where I'll go and cleanse the area. We put ourselves in harm's way too. Dealing with these darker energies. So.
Yeah.
But
the shaman. Yeah, the shaman deals with good and evil spirits.
Yeah.
And
so we're the only ones. We can do exorcisms. We are also trained for that, which I don't want any part of, to tell you the truth, because I have a young daughter. But I did deal with something that recently, a few months back, a little crazy.
Have you ever brought anything home?
No, nothing ever comes home with me.
Oh, that's good.
That's strong. Yeah. I lay the Lord down. I'm a Sicilian mom.
You take steps or precautions so
Absolutely.
that doesn't happen?
Yes, it does not happen. Absolutely. I'm very strong-willed. I told you, I'm telling you, my Sicilian mama kicks in with that stuff too. So they get a little nervous with me. But I got to tell you, you know what? I was telling somebody, I've noticed on all my investigations that I've done, or when I go into cleanse homes, when there's spirit around, when there's a lot of spirits around, I have noticed there's one spirit that always lurks in the background. And I always thought these things were hiding from me, which they really are, but they're actually there trying to collect other souls that are earthbound, trying to keep them earthbound. It's crazy.
I know I have ran into ghost hunting where you'll have a spirit that is dominating over the other spirits that are in the location.
Yeah.
There's like, you don't know if they're keeping them there.
I can guarantee, because I had like this weird thing, like where when I realized, because I was at the Haunted Shanley Hotel when I came upon this, because I came face to face with one of them, and I'm like, holy crap! It made me think back to all my cases, all my residential cases, and all my investigations. I have felt that presence before, and I thought they were hiding from me. And I realized they're always there. This same presence.
You got the
it
same
may not be the same one. The same energy.
Okay.
They're trying to keep them from crossing over. They're trying to keep them earthbound. They kind of control them. Like you were saying.
Yeah, that's spooky. That's spooky stuff there.
Well, you want to hear something spooky? Let me tell you. I was at I love the Shanley Hotel. I do a lot of events for them. I do like gallery readings there. I do events. I was there for Halloween. But last year I was there, and Kelly, the owner, had taken me to the basement because there was this really dark energy down there. When I got down there, this thing that was down there, it was like this Slender Man, and he had like this is how they changed the way they appear to us. Like, in Dead Files, Amy Allen always talks about like something that has 7 arms and horns and everything. They do that. They could change their image, that how we could see them, to scare us, the scare factor, because fear, they feed off the fear. So anyway, I brought spirits down to human form after they showed like something scary, and I'll bring them down to human form so I can deal with them. But this thing that was in the basement, the Shanley, scared the hell out of me. It was this tall, slender man, and he had like a bloody devil head on. The way he was vibrating was getting through my energy field in my body and making me sick. That I was sick for a week after being there. But I had to go upstairs. Yeah, I went upstairs and sitting at a table, and they came through the wall, and it said to me that it's not here to harm us, the living. It's after the souls of the bad people.
Okay. That's
what he told me. So, because there's a few, unsavory spirits there, not evil, but what they've done in their human form,
Right. Mary, have you ever had any bad experiences like that where it's something that's lingered, after, days afterwards?
Not with spirit necessarily. I've done energy work and healing where there was one time where I did energy work on somebody and you could tell that they weren't quite right. And had used sage. And then she stayed about a half hour afterwards. And right after the energy work, she looked completely different. She was a completely different person. She didn't even look the same. And then probably within a half hour, I decided to go check on my sage, which is kind of weird because sage literally goes out by itself. The biggest thing of sage is keeping it lit. And the whole sage had burned up by itself. And the whole room was engulfed in smoke. Yeah, exactly. Wow. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. So I'd kind of done an exorcism without doing it on purpose.
Yeah. It's kind of really that's a hairy thing to do, the exorcism. And as shamans, we are taught this physical aspects that we know if it's a true possession of someone, and it's very rare because. I gotta tell you, I don't want to cause doing these investigations. I've been out with people, and I don't know if they're out of their minds or they're faking it, but the attachment stuff, it's very rare to happen. Attachments and seeing demons. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a rare thing.
So do you?
But the one I
did,
this guy had an attachment.
You talked about cleansing. So does that mean you smudge and bless homes? People? There's a lot of things. There's a little more to the smudging that I do, but I really can't discuss. I wish I could, because I belong to a tribe. I have a chief. As a matter of fact, that one I just did like a few months back, I had to actually call my chief in on that. It was crazy.
crazy what was going on there. That actually, the first time I got a little scared.
You ever dealt with what you thought was a Native American?
Oh, yes. Actually at the Hinsdale house. That was the one of the nicest experience I've ever had. I do remote viewing, so before I had gone to the Hinsdale house, a paranormal group went there, and they had, I did a remote viewing for them and tell them what was going on there. Now I'm getting ready to go there. So the night before going to the Hinsdale house, I was meditating, and all of a sudden I was brought to the property, because that's what happens a lot. Before I go on investigations, I will be brought to the spot, and they'll show me around and tell me what's going on. I'm already dealing with the spirits before going. You don't even have to tell me where I'm going, and I can make a connection, and which I prefer. I prefer not to know where I'm going.
I'm really fascinated with that remote viewing. That seems especially.
Yeah, you know what? There is the remote viewing like the CIA and the Russians use, where they put, psychics in a room and they'll tell you, which I did. I've done that, not with the CIA or anything like that, or Russians. But the remote viewing, when I talk about that, it's when, say I know I'm going somewhere. Like I had friends, I was helping out a friend of a friend that they were having a haunting at their condo. So before going in, now I didn't want to know the address. They take me there, don't tell me. So right before they picked me up, I already connected. I was brought to the place. I could tell what was going on. There was numerous suicides, and the spirits were lingering. So that's what happens with my kind of remote viewing. I am brought to the place, and the spirit kind of connects me and tells me what's going on. Now, with the Hinsdale house, it was really a wonderful experience, because I was just meditating, just like, chilling out. And all of a sudden, I'm brought to the Hinsdale house. Never seen it, never been there. I'm in the backyard of this place. And all of a sudden, on the property line, there's woods behind it. There was thousands of Native Americans with the one chief. And he was just telling me that this land is tainted. The whole land, from the house, the land, that they won't even cross that property line to go on top. That's how bad it was. These are, Native American spirits that won't even go on that property. But they kind of protect around it so they don't go any further.
Well, it makes sense, because entire tribes were massacred, so I could see where there'd be a whole group of them maybe.
Yes, that's what I told you. I still have not read up anything about Hinsdale House, because I want to go back. But very fascinating. The Native Americans were so kind to me, there. Like, I was protected. I think that place is just eerie, spooky. The energy is completely friggin' off. When I did the remote viewing with the group that went there, I was shown a road that goes nowhere there. And I kept telling them, I said, I'm seeing 13 dead people walking up and down this road that goes nowhere. And something happened. I said, somebody did a spell or tried to do a ritual, or they tried to do a clearing, and they did it incorrectly. They released the people from the house, but they're stuck on the land now. They did it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That's why people who don't know what they're doing should not mess around with this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's
not something it's not an amateur thing.
Exactly. Like, people think putting salt down. Somebody said, well, you know what, they called me up and, somebody told me to put salt around the house. And I said, well, that was the worst thing you could have done. I said, now you trapped them in the house. So,
right. Yeah. And I think it's important to close portals, too. And I think sometimes you can accidentally open up portals. So I always didn't take a chance. I would close any portals that I might have accidentally opened up. But I want to tell you about this area that we live in, Grand Rapids. They built the expressway, and they built it right through Indian burial ground. And so, they
Michigan,
didn't bother.
Right? Is this
Michigan, right? They didn't bother moving any graves, of course. Who is?
My chief is from Michigan.
Your chief?
Yeah, my chief.
Native American Indian chief?
She's not Native American, but she's our chief.
Okay.
She's female.
But
she's amazing.
What I had to deal with is like what I think is shapeshifters, and they appeared like minions, and I mean they were terrorizing these clients. And what was funny was they were all from the same area. They lived just blocks apart. They didn't know each other, but the descriptions were exactly the same. And yeah, the one guy had an exorcism, but I think it's because that revenge, when something is sticking around for revenge, that's a bad thing. I think whatever you are as a human being, that's what you are when you're dead. If you're an angry old man, as a living person, then you become an angry spirit. But these things were like shapeshifters, and they were very menacing, and the descriptions were just scary.
Oh yeah, so, yeah, it is very spooky.
Yeah, and like you say, it's not amateur hour. It's not something that people should be trying on their own.
Yeah.
You've done it for how many years?
All day long. Oh my God, I'm not even tell you. No, actually, it's 100.
You've been doing
years.
this for several years. You said, even though you had an experience at 4, it wasn't till your mid-20s that you really started.
Yeah, that's
what brought that
really
on in your 20s? What shifted your gear at your 20s?
I don't know. Like I started. I went to psychic, and she said, you could read, and I said, well, yeah, I know, but she gave me my tarot cards. So I started reading friends and everything. I didn't know how. I still don't know how to read the cards. I don't know the meanings. Some, of course, as you go along, you learn them. But anywho, then people started contacting me to help them out. But this is funny, but I was at a bar with my friends in my 20s, hanging out at a bar, and I sat next to this girl, and I look at her and I said, "Who's Joe?" And she goes, "My boyfriend." And I'm like, "Why do you let him hit you?" And she started crying. She goes, "I don't know why." I said, "Well, if you stay in this relationship, he's going to kill you." So she was crying to me, and so I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I'm like, "How do I know that?"
Yes.
So now it's funny. Now I can kind of zone in. I shut it off though completely. Like I heard people say, "Oh, I'm on all day long," and I'm like, "Well, that's impossible. I think you'll die."
Right. Yeah, you need to be able to shut it off. I know.
Yeah,
I've worked with people.
It's not going to stay on.
Right.
Yeah, it shuts off naturally. Like mine is natural. It shuts when I know I'm going into mode. When I sit at my desk to read, it turns on. As soon as I get up, it turns off. Just like opening the portal. Like if I cross the spirit over, that closes right up. I walk away. I don't even have to say anything. It's like they know it's on command. When I do this, open, close. And that's it.
Okay.
Got to lay down the law.
Yeah, I think
you got to be a Sicilian mom.
I think it's important to stay grounded. Do you use meditation at all?
Yes. But you know what? It's my husband was just yelling at me. I'm not meditating enough. But I have learned to just I could take a few seconds. I was actually talking to Cindy Kazar about this. We get so in tune with the meditation that we can turn on right before going to do readings. But it is very healthy to do, to ground yourself, through meditation. I like to do guided chakra cleansing. That sets me on fire. I love that.
Well, that's what Mama Mary introduced me to, really. And Mary, are you able to turn it on and off? Yeah, the chakras, and Mary, are you able to turn it on and off like that, like a switch?
Yeah, I think it comes naturally. Sometimes if I'm sitting quietly, it doesn't necessarily. It just turns on by itself if everything is peaceful and quiet. Like if I'm at work in my office, all of a sudden I start hearing voices and people talking, and eventually I have to say, if you don't have anything personally to say to me, then you just need to move on, because then it's just nonstop voices. But yeah, it's very, very powerful. If you work with your guides and ask for that protection, they naturally protect you.
Yeah. I just everyone knows I'm shut off. Get the hell out of here.
I'm glad that you can do that, right? Because, like you say, I think you'd go crazy after a while, and it's like they're lined up waiting for you. I'm next. Take care of me next. I'm here, bug.
Yeah.
I'm ready. No,
Yeah, I
want
don't think
to
it's
talk
ever
about
really like that. I think you would go crazy. I think people would go mad.
Mhm.
right.
You know, there's some that'll pop in like every so often, but you know that needs to, and that I have no idea who they are. You know, I've had somebody like blow in my face, whistle in my ear. I'm like, nope, not today. Go home.
Oh yeah. When it's right in your ear, we've had that in ghost hunting where it's like someone just heavy breath right in your ear. It's like, who did that? And it's like the whole room.
I had them talking in my ear, like full conversation.
Oh yeah.
You know what's funny? Last night when I went to home to clear, cleanse the home, I was in the room talking to the guy that was a nice guy, just a lost spirit. Now, you can't hear him audibly, outside, but when the woman of the house was in the kitchen with her sister, and she goes, who are you talking to? She goes, we heard a man. Were you on your phone? And I said, no. She said, I heard you talking to a man. I said, you heard his voice? And I'm like, oh my, because I hear it in my head. But they were actually hearing the conversation I was having with this guy. They heard him speaking. How crazy is that?
We have a friend, Brandon Jose, who's my ghost hunting partner for years. He hears a lot of it with his own naked ear, and then we can verify it because the same thing he hears with his ear, we pick up on the recorders. I've heard some with my naked ear, but very seldom. Usually it's so faint, but they seem to have a similar quality. It's like, get out.
Oh my God, we just had that. I keep smelling cigarette smoke. Nobody smokes in this house.
Oh.
Do you have anyone that's crossed over that smokes? Because it is heavy smoke around me.
That's my best sense, is my sense of smell. And
it's
death,
actually nauseating me.
Death can take on a smell like cherries or strawberries, which is a pleasant smell.
Yeah, it depends what you relate to. I think it relates to everyone a different way. Like, just like, when there's a bad spirit around, you get that bad smell.
Sulfur or rotted flesh.
Yeah.
That smell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like you said, cigarette or cigar smoke. Right. That's my best sense.
A heavy cigarette smoke smell.
Right now?
My ex-husband was a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
Oh.
But is he past?
I know.
Yeah, he did over a year ago.
All right. And there's also something like with hunting or?
Yeah, he was a big hunter.
Okay, then this is him. Oh, my God.
And
so
Mary's
strong.
husband has shown up before.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Oh, my God, man.
I had to
Mary
cross
watches
him
me,
over
so.
originally.
Yes.
You had to cross him over, Elizabeth? It's just so strong. It was actually making me nauseous.
Yeah, he was a very heavy smoker. Probably about 3 months after he passed away, the big story was I remember sitting outside one day and seeing a little boy in my bathroom window. Why is my son sitting in the window? And I look, and I'm like, that's not my son. And so I kind of let it go because, of course, I see spirit all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm connecting or communicating, but I see it. And then one day I was leaving for breakfast and came back in, and I felt a really dense energy, like, by my feet. And I watched a black mass move around my couch. And so when I was leaving the house, I said, okay. I said, you need to state your purpose now and go. And then like a couple of days after that, I discovered my son, he's 10 now, he's a medium. And I've really worked with him majorly on that gift without tuning it out. But he was pulling his blanket across the floor, and he turned around, and he wasn't talking to me. He said, don't worry, I'm not going to get my blanket dirty. And I said, who are you talking to? And he's like, oh, because I'm not talking to anybody. So then I realized that my ex was in the house, except for he hadn't crossed over yet. So it took me about 3 months because he was for a while but the male spirit that's in the house that was here before we moved in, he helped me cross him over.
Yeah.
April, any other impressions with Mary? Because I know Mary was anxious to have you read her.
I just gotta tell you, I just feel like he actually was very upset over his passing.
Yeah, it was a very tragic passing. He was driving, and the people that were coming at him had crossed the lane because the dog had jumped in their lap and hit him head on.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, very angry over this. Like, he did not want to go. He's angry. I hate seeing him like this, you know. I don't know if I'm picking up, like, he's showing me, like, from, he's very heavy on me right now, so, I feel like I failed my son, like you said. Like, I think there was something that he was supposed to do, like, with him, land with him.
Okay.
Live longer would have been good.
Yeah, no, like something like that was supposed to be done.
Unfinished business?
Not unfinished business, like it well, like that. But I just feel like there was something I was supposed to do. There was something I was supposed. Of course, going tragically like that, being ripped out of your body. You know what's funny? You said there was a spirit, an angry spirit in your house.
Well, not angry, just dense energy. It was dead energy, not angry. I didn't feel anything like negative. It was just a very low. It was dead energy.
Well, I gotta tell you, I didn't like that energy, and I almost feel like I followed your husband. Like, not saying he's bad, nothing like that. I'm telling you, when they feel spirit around, there's these other lower energies that come around.
I totally connect with that because we lived in a house in Laco, and he would complain all the time about seeing dark shadow figures walking across the light, and he would accuse me of cheating on him. And I remember one night it got so bad with him that he went and turned on a light, and the light bulb blew up in his face.
Oh,
and
boy.
We moved to the next house, and I sensed the same thing, and that's when I had just started awakening to the spirituality, and it kind of seemed no matter where we went, there's times where he didn't make the greatest of choices, but seemed like something else had a hold of him.
Yeah. Well, I did something to kind of take hold of it. I thought he was angry here too, like before the passing too. Like there was upset over something, and also there's a B name around him. They pick up a B name. I don't know if it's like a BER name, and also he's angry over a female talking about him.
Yeah, that's hard to tell because we were divorced, and there was times that I had to take him to court to make him toe the line, so he could have been thinking that about me. He did have an up inside, like, down relationship with another woman.
Don't think it was
but
you.
It was probably me.
I feel like he said somebody's telling lies about me. I know they said lies about me. Yeah.
Because I never really tried to talk bad about him.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is somebody else. Like, even after his passing, they had something not nice to say about him. And he's like, it's not true. It's not true. So he's
I know a couple of people that could have changed too.
Yeah. And I know it's a female because he specifically says it's a female. Then he also, do you know, like, if there's anybody with a B name around him? I was going to say Bernadette, but I don't think that's it.
Not right off, but I really didn't talk to him a whole lot either.
Yeah. Well, this is just the information he's given me. That's all I'm picking up. He's not really that close to me. I just don't like that smell of the smoke. It's so strong.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get rid of that. It's making me nauseous. But all right, so you know what? he's just showing me this is after the passing. This is what he went through. He's crossed over. He's just showing like how angry he was afterwards. He actually has come back to the house to get rid of that shadow figure that is in your home. But I got to tell you, I also like to see like there was almost like two others. You know what? When you see one shadow figure, there's always going to be a couple more with them. You ever find that? Travel in packs. Because it's funny. If I see like the shadow figure, do you still see them in the house?
Not really. I see spirit, but
I kind of see like a blue light, a muted like blue light, like I'll see kind of like light moving around your home.
that would make sense to me. I do see different colors of light. It just doesn't really faze me because I don't like disacknowledge it, but I don't acknowledge it either.
Yeah, I get you. You know what? Because I'll be sitting on my couch and I'll catch that really by me, and I'm like, not tonight because I'm watching Housewives.
That's right.
Bug off. So
I was wondering if you were going to have an accent from New Jersey.
Like my Jersey accent?
Right. I was curious. My wife was asking
I like
too. Yeah, I hear a little bit.
It's so funny.
A little bit, I hear.
You know, it's funny when I went to the Conjuring house and I had dinner at James Anito and Carl Johnson. I had dinner with them the night before at the Conjuring house, and I was teaching them Jersey slang.
Okay. Yeah. You know, in ghost hunting, suicide can cause unrest and, can create ghosts. I'm wondering, what about if someone has committed suicide, now they're on the other side, do they come off any differently than someone who died naturally to you?
It's just the feel of it. And you know what? You feel sorry for there's different levels of energy, but it's funny. Like when I went to one home when my friend wanted to bring me there, and I didn't know where I was going, and we're texting each other. He's like, my friend's having issues at her house, and I said, well, I keep hearing suicide, multiple suicides. Like I actually hear the word suicide. So I knew I was going there and it's going to be suicide. So sometimes it's not even a feeling. I hear it. I know it's going to be suicide. And, if you go, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. I don't know how, it was last year, but at that home, we actually got the EVP, my friend Patrick saying, like, do you still reside in this home? And you hear the guy clear as day. And I kept saying, he's right next to me. And you hear, and the recorder's next to me, and you hear, yes, in a male's voice. Now, what's funny? I'm sorry, I'm getting off the subject. But, yeah, with the suicides, there is a different energy about it. I notice when I do readings, if it's a suicide or if they contributed to their death, they won't tell me. So I know if they're withholding how they passed, that I know it's either suicide or, drugs or something, like they OD. They're kind of ashamed of their passing and rather not talk about it.
Is that the same with you, Mary?
Yeah, different energy feels different. You can always tell if someone's at peace, and just like when she was talking about how sometimes information comes in differently. Sometimes you might not hear a spirit because they weren't able to speak in, regular life. So when they're crossed over, they had to communicate differently. So definitely you get different vibrations from the way people have crossed over.
They'll tell me if they couldn't speak. They'll show me their throat or whatever. Like say, like I did a reading, and the woman was she couldn't walk, and she's making me feel like my legs can't move. So I said to the lady, I said, did she have an issue with her legs? I said, she showed me her legs couldn't move, and she really appreciated that you were massaging her legs, like before she passes. Like, I feel like I have atrophy in my legs, and that's exactly, she was a paraplegic, and this woman would rub her legs for her.
Well, that's confirmation.
Yeah.
Have you ever
crazy.
used Ouija board to communicate with spirits?
Yeah. You know what? I gotta tell you, Ouija board gets a bad rap, but it's the same thing as doing medium work. It's the same thing as ghost hunting. It's not that you open a portal. You're opening a portal when we're doing EVP sessions.
Right, or tarot cards, I think, can open up portals. Yeah, you got to know what you're doing, how to work with it, and be prepared if something does come through. Now, how do you handle it? Something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
How emotional? No, okay, go ahead and expand on that.
No, I've cried. I've had some readings that made me cry, like, just emotionally take you down.
You just led into my next thought. It was about callers being emotional. How emotional are some of these people that call you and they want help? Are they crying and like out of control sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, well, you know what? Can I tell you? Like, I had a woman contact me. She made an appointment with me. Everyone makes an appointment on my website, but her fiance just passed away like a few days ago, and I said, "Hon, I can't read you yet." I said, "They're grieving. The spirit is going through a process. They're going, they're basically on orientation through heaven, So it's too soon too, because they're emotional. There's a grieving process you have to go through because you want to blame somebody. You're upset at their passing.
Yeah, sometimes upset.
I was
upset with God sometimes.
Appointment. Yes, I've been there. I was mad there,
challenge your faith.
I talked to her. Yeah, I talked to her. I run through a little. I said, I don't really want to interfere in his spirit right now. I said, but they didn't know how he passed. He told me how he passed. He was able to communicate. I said, but give it another month. I rescheduled her, and I'll talk to you. You need to just go through this process right now. There's nothing you're going to hear from me that's going to make you feel better.
Yeah, I know in ghost hunting, sometimes they're not willing to let go of the dead. They want it. They want there to be a ghost there. They want their ghost of their dead husband to be there. So I don't think that's good. I mean, you need to let go of that and let them move on. You're holding them.
People, it's not healthy for the living to live with the deceased. It will make you physically sick.
Yeah.
The different vibrations, it does not go together. Your health will be at risk, and you'll notice that your health will start to decline. You'll start having health issues living around too many spirits. I've heard of places trying to keep spirits trapped in places to, sell events and stuff.
Can you pick up an item and get vibrations off of it and then start getting visions from it?
That's not one of my strong points, but I can do if I concentrate on it. We all have our special one thing that we really do well, but psychometry I do a little bit. It will help me holding it. When I do readings, it's like just feeling the energy off of people and my remote viewing, like being taken places.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's fun.
I've seen ghosts.
I feel like I'm traveling.
I've seen ghosts that were attached to certain items before, and like antiques. Sometimes that's one of the questions I would ask people. Have you recently purchased any antiques brought into your home?
Yeah.
They can.
That's
ghosts
number one thing to ask.
Yeah, they can be attached to the land, to the house, to items, and maybe a ghost can be attached to a person too, I think, and then travel with you.
Yeah.
Is it like an out-of-body experience for you when you're communicating?
No, you know what's funny? I gotta tell you, when I was at the Conjuring House, I was driving. I like to drive by myself before I go to places, and I'm driving to the Conjuring House, and all of a sudden, now I can still see, I can drive, but I'm still able to do this. But this woman put me inside of her, almost like I could see through her eyes what she was doing. as I'm driving. I can still concentrate on my driving, but I'm seeing and feeling this at the same time. And she was showing me, it was really creepy. She was showing me she was making like voodoo dolls or something, for spells. And this doll, it was made out of human skin, and she was sewing it up.
Oh no!
And I'm seeing it
Yikes.
as I'm driving, But she told me she put them all over the property, and
jeez.
I don't know if it was human skin or animal skin, but it was skin.
Oh yeah.
But she told me she put it on a doll in the shape of a pentacle on the property. And she said nobody will find it because nobody knows where it is exactly or how far out. Yeah.
That is far out. Are you an LLC company?
I'm sorry?
Are you LLC? Are you an LLC company?
No, why?
Limited liability. Because, it was important, I think, and some of the teams that I ran into, so you don't get sued. Just protect yourself from liability. I was just curious if you were. We need to move into the final phase of the show already, unless Mary, you got something specific you want to discuss.
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's move into the final phase, and that would be shout-outs. For us, I guess it would be Sarah Bassett, Gigi. That's Mama Mary's stepdaughter, and we worked with her, and then the people I work with are Kim Colleen and Brandon Jose. And then our last guest on our radio show was Todd Clements from Mackinac Island, and so we thank him. Anybody that you want to give a shout-out to, April? I know you've worked with so many different people. Daryl Marston.
Daryl Marston from Ghost Hunters. Yeah, Daryl Marston is like the co-owner of Paranormal Warehouse. That's what I do my readings every other Tuesday. This Tuesday I'll be on doing live readings at 8 p.m. Also to Flamiri Promotions, which is my talent agency, Ray Savino. And we just signed on a new celebrity. We have Daryl Marston, Brad Cooney, Mustafa, Rachel, and Brian from Ghost Hunters. We have a whole group of great people that we work with. And we just signed Rob Demarest from GHI, Ghost Hunters International, Ghost Hunters Destination Fear. So big
you
shout out
with
to
John
them.
Edward. John Edward was about the only
Edward,
one.
John Edward. Cindy Kazar, I took classes with. And that's about it. And, if anybody wants to contact me, they can go to intuitiveapril.com.
Okay.
And see where I'll be next. I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's important because that's upcoming. Make sure everybody knows what you got coming up and where to find you. So go over that again.
Yes. Yeah, because my next event will be with Rob Demarest from Ghost Hunters. So I'm very excited.
Okay, yeah. You stay busy. I can tell. I could tell that you're very busy.
Yeah.
And that's what catches my attention is that activity. So for upcoming for us on Cryptic Frequencies, we're going to be going maybe to Kentucky, Arkansas, Louisiana, and talking to some ghost hunters and perhaps Canada.
Who do you want to see in Kentucky?
Kentucky?
Yeah.
My connection in Kentucky would be
I have friends out there.
Haunted Kentucky Paranormal.
Ah,
That's the
nice.
research group there. Okay, yep. And so,
and you got
we're kind
Tennessee next door to go to Waverly Hills.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll be going there in June.
Okay, you were the first step because this is as far as we've ever communicated with somebody. So from Michigan to New Jersey, that was a big step for us. And this is exciting for us. Mama Mary, you have upcoming?
Nothing major at the moment. Just doing the everyday duties of being a mom, wife, and working. And then I have the spiritual store in Hastings. No special upcoming events at the moment.
Okay.
I
And
have to
then so
stop
we'll
by
get
and
into
visit
our
you guys one day.
You're gonna have to. You can come to
Absolutely.
you can come to the shop and be a guest reader.
I would love that.
Oh
We'll have to
wow,
work
that
it
would
out
be
somehow.
great. Yeah. So and then upcoming for us also WKTV podcast. Mama Mary is going to be on this coming Wednesday, and April, you're going to be on into the month. So looking forward to both of those shows, and we'll get to see you guys, on camera. Let's get into the inspirational thought, or our final thought. And I think I picked a good one for you two. Can dreams be prophetic? Can you foretell the future by just dreaming? And if you could cite some examples, if you think that you can.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. My best friend is not psychic, but and I love her, and she's my best friend. She doesn't bug me for readings or anything. That's why I love hanging out with her. So when I go out, people right away, give me a reading. My best friend has prophetic dreams all the time. It's the craziest thing. In details.
Mama Mary, you think there's dreams can be prophetic like that? I know you have some very vivid dreams. I've heard about some of them.
I do, and
you think they can...
ever since I was a little girl, I would have dreams that would come true. The biggest, latest one was, right before COVID hit. The events, and they gave me dates and they gave me years how COVID was going to hit and how it was going to impact. And I said, okay. I said, you just need to keep my community safe. And it said, the beings said, we will. But that was definitely, it was a dream state. It was more of a channeling state because I wasn't completely asleep. But more often than not, I get those dreams continuously. And then, weird scenarios play out where they unfold and you're like, oh, I've been here before.
Oh, a little deja vu in your dream, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Okay. April, is that it for the dreams? Have you covered that?
Yeah, that's it. I don't have dreams. I just don't dream.
Okay.
I'm everything.
I do all my dreaming in the daytime.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you, Wayne. I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm a daydreamer. So this has been fun. So inspirational thought, and then that will be the show. And for my inspirational thought, luckily for us, this is a paranormal show and not a political platform. But I don't talk politics. Right. So my inspirational thought comes from former President Obama, and he said, "We choose hope over fear. We see the future not as something out of our control, but as something we can shape for the better." And I really think, April, the work that you're doing, you're helping people to shape their future. And I appreciate it. I appreciate what Mama Mary does. She does some of the same stuff. And I really think you guys are doing really good. I know these people are calling you, they're emotional, and you're helping them to deal with that future, maybe prepare for it a little bit, because you both have built-in crystal balls, and I love it. I was so glad that we could talk to you, April. Keep up the good work.
It was a pleasure.
We'll see you. We'll actually see you at the end of the month. And Mama Mary, I'll see you before that. See you next Wednesday on Zoom.
Yeah.
So,
yes, I'm so excited.
Yep, me too. This was great. Great show. Thanks, girls.
Great show. Thank you. And
thank you.
All right, now talk to you soon.